Queen calls in the lawyers. Meghan and Harry finally go too far. After constant attacks from Harry and Meghan, the palace is finally taking a stand against the royal rebels. The financial crisis hit the couple. At 95 and with decades of dealing with various royal rascals under her belt, it takes a lot for the Queen's patience to wear thin. It takes her even more for the notoriously litigation-shy monarch to enter into court proceedings. But it seems the Duke and Duchess of Hypocrisy's ongoing attacks against the House of Windsor have finally worn thin. Several credible reports out of the UK and US say that the Queen is lawyering up as she considers libel proceedings against her grandson and his greedy American wife, who now live in California with their 2 young children. Sources say the Queen is trying to be tolerant of Harry, who's always been a hothead, but he's threatening the very fabric of her family with all these claims, and enough is enough. It has also been reported that if they do name the senior royal who allegedly made comments about Archie, that individual may be able to sue the Sussexes for libel and breach of privacy. Meanwhile, U.S. magazine In Touch's source says the Queen is consulting with her legal team about suing and stopping Harry's book from seeing the light of day. If the Queen does launch legal action against one of her own, it would be a first in royal history, and U.S. experts suggest it could cost the Sussexes up to $42 million in damages. Harry and Meghan have to be careful, warns a source. Just because the Queen has done everything in her power in the past to avoid anything in the courts, it doesn't mean she won't go down that path. She's seeing how much damage it's doing to Prince Charles and Prince William, having this hanging over their heads as they prepare to step up and lead the family. She doesn't want to leave the Sussex mess on them. She blames herself for letting it get that way with attacking the family for so long, and so she feels that it's on her to put a stop to it. Her gentle approach hasn't worked, so as much as she doesn't want to do this, it's time for her to bring in the big guns. An insider close to the Montecito-based Sussexes says Harry and Meghan would not be expecting this from the Queen. They have been leaning heavily on the assumption that the Queen would stick to her never complain, never explain motto, but it seems that only goes so far. Indeed, Paul Burrell, who has worked for the royal family, has confirmed that seeking legal advice would be the Queen's way of saying enough is enough. The Queen is a warm, fair, loyal, and forgiving and compassionate woman. But if you sidestep her many times or lie to her, you lose her respect, Paul told UK's Closer magazine. And it looks like things have gone too far. Harry and Meghan show no signs of stopping their rockets. And it seems the Sussexes are scared. There's the latest information that reveals the couple's desperate to meet our Queen because without her link to the Queen, she is hugely irrelevant, a source said to us. She only had her current level of fame and wealth based off her association with the institution that she won't stop criticizing. She proclaims herself to be verbally and an equally focused feminist while wearing designer clothes and calling herself a duchess. She says the institution is out of touch while demanding the title of Prince and Princess for her children. Her actions don't meet up, not her words, and she's been welcomed with a blind trust that she expected by the parts of the planet with brains, and that turned out to be way more than Meg's ever considered it could be. So now she needs the Queen who, by association, she can attempt to portray herself as royal. They also explain her nosediving popularity would. Meghan failed in her bid to bolster her popularity in the USA by smearing the British royal family and pretending to be the hard-done victim of uncaring in-laws and the mean UK press. So now what's a girl to do? Oh yes, that's right. Maybe making things right with her mean and horrible in-laws will do the trick. If anything Meghan Markle ever said about the British royal family is true, why would she ever go back to the UK for any reason whatsoever? Finally, the narcissist is that Meghan Markle is sitting in a catch-22 of her own making. Don't take Lilibet to meet the Queen and look like the evil, divisive, callous, unempathetic, and entitled narcissist that you are. But another source added that the only reason she's sucking up to the Queen is that she wants to be in the parade of carriages through London and on the balcony of Buckingham Palace during the Queen's Jubilee next summer. That way, she will see the world over on news clips, so people will think she's still relevant and she will still make money. That is the only reason. Indeed, Meghan would certainly wish to meet Her Majesty the Queen, to whom she feels she's equal. As I've noted previously for Meghan Markle, being a part of the royal family, however much she might slam them, is part of her stock and trade, and like all stock, it has to be updated and refreshed. By the same token would be her presence on the palace balcony with Her Majesty the Queen, Prince Charles, Camilla, William, and his family. I personally hope this doesn't happen, although it certainly won't be easy to prevent. On the other hand, it seems that Harry's wife is holding back any photos of second baby for a world premiere publicity event of meeting with the Queen to bestow her approval of her namesake, and in Harry's crazy wife's mind, her namesake heir. I feel very sorry for their two children who are pawns in their parents' ambitions to stay on the world stage. In every attempt that make that get crazier and less connected to common sense and decency, I'm finally slowly getting to the point of not worrying about the British royal family might act out of love for Harry. At this point, I think they're unable to actually do or show any love via contact, even remotely, because of what and how the Sussexes would do with any show of affection. In an analogy of your favorite pet, it would be if it contacted rabies. No matter how much you care for it, it would be dangerous to approach or touch it for fear of getting bit. She is in a scheming mode to get more money from her royal link. Her solution is to visit Her Majesty the Queen, and later, after her entrapment, the Queen with respect to have her daughter baptized in Windsor, she will get a second heir for their brand that's losing value. After all, the woman who said never go back to England, the nation she branded terrible, as well as the royal family. The woman who described them as that family. The woman who attacked the Queen's character through her mouthpiece and master Scooby-Doo. The woman who viciously discredited future kings and queens consort out of pure despise. The woman who filled her mouth with lies about time as a working royal now wants to be treated as one of them, with all the privileges and perks as a member of that family. She now wants to land on the soil of the racists and have a meeting with an unfit parent that ignored her grievances and suffering. That woman is totally untrustworthy, shameless at being the only one who cares about her needs and desires, without a drop of dignity or either even decorum. And now England is good enough for her to go back for her future plans. Her Majesty the Queen, very much loved because the truth is that she is their lifesaver, her pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And the rest of the royal family will be her personal savings account after dealing with media outlets to sell pictures and untrue stories about her time with them in Windsor. Again, they aren't exiles self-imposed. No stops them from left of free will, so don't call them exiles. It means forced to leave, lives in danger. It was the palace in danger. Great, they abdicated, but they're not exiles. Most don't even understand that word, obviously. Self-imposed abdication. He's been back and forth, so that's that. He's not exiled. No one can say he has any threats to his life put on himself. Exile is forced to refuse to return because your life is in danger, and it's definitely not the case. So stop trying to make and put pity on this crazy nutter duo. They left walking, he chased after her, so he abandoned and left and abdicated. Even the royal family agrees to some sort of meeting or reconciliation with Harry and Meghan. It will be conducted in private, unrecorded, and not available for gossip or leaking to the media for cash. I don't imagine the two exiles will ever agree to these conditions, so it will never happen. Amazingly, the royal family are human beings, just like you and me. They don't like people betraying their confidences and gossiping about private matters.